Hello there. Yes, I'm still alive. In case you didn't know, I'm riding a motorbike from here to here, via all these places. And in the last episode, I entered Iraq, slept in an ice cream shop in Basra, broke down in the middle of the desert, and finished by arriving at the northern border into Turkey. And as usual, being borders, dramas happened. So, Turkish border. I met a fellow bike traveller from Poland. His name was Simon. And no, I'm not saying it with an accent. Anyway, borders take time, and by the time we left this border, it was starting to get dark. So we decided, for safety of course, to ride into the nearby mountains and find a campsite. And the next series of events turned out to be one of the more dangerous things that's happened, but we only realised afterwards. Anyway, as we climbed the mountains, we passed through a military checkpoint. This isn't unusual, and these soldiers were carrying these guns. Make note of this. Anyway, we carried on for about an hour until we found a spot that looked like it might be worth camping in. And with me being in front, and the roads being extremely dark, naturally I rode through a heap of razor wire and got my bike almost completely tangled up in it. This wasn't particularly fun, so we're there for about 5 minutes trying to untangle my bike from this nonsense. In the meantime, we see a gate opening, which at the time I just assumed was a farmer coming to see what all the ruckus was about. Oh no. This guy had this gun, and almost immediately afterwards, we're cornered on this road by a van pulling in behind us, and from this plain white unmarked van, 5 other guys got out, carrying these. So naturally, this is a bit concerning. Now while we're surrounded, we're unable to communicate properly because obviously we don't speak their language, but tensions rose when they started pointing at our bikes and saying they liked them and wanted them. Now my unfortunate ailment is that in these situations, I tend to say inappropriate things. So I got hard on the translator, and I told him that I'd give him my bike if he gave me his AK. Luckily they liked this comment. And after the tension was broken, they basically ended up telling us that the mountains are extremely dangerous to camp in, and we should go to the nearby town, back the way we came, and back through that original military checkpoint. So that's what we did. Now once we'd eventually passed through that same checkpoint, we were stopped this time. First of all, we were shouted at for being in the mountains because they're extremely dangerous. We asked why they're dangerous. They told us they were terrorists hiding in the mountains, almost everywhere. To which I said, how would we know a terrorist if we saw one? And he says, you see my gun? They don't have these. They have AK-47s. And beards. Funnily enough, the guys we met had AK-47s and beards, which means potentially that we basically rode through the mountains, met some terrorists, and then came back again. Lovely. Anyway, we found one of the worst hotels I've ever stayed at in my life, gross. And in the morning we parted ways, where Simon was heading north and I was heading towards Istanbul.
There are terrorists in the area. These people have beards and AK-47s, and the people who he spoke to had beards and AK-47s. So we basically met some terrorists, came back, went through a military checkpoint. What a fucking weird day.
Shut up, you overexcited dickhead. Anyway, the next day I started moving again.
Perfect place for a drone shot, isn't it, Saudi Arabia, you bastards?
So, back to business. My plan is to go this way a little bit, then up and over the mountains, and then towards Istanbul, where I'll have a merry old time with someone I've met before, and then carry on into my first European country. But first, bike issues.
Just thought I'd stop for a break and combine it with a check of something because my little oil level light just came on. So I'm going to investigate, and to check oil on BMWs is a bit annoying. You basically have to turn it off, put it on the sensor stand, and then wait 5 to 10 minutes for the oil level to do its thing. And then you can check it. No more, no less. So I'll see what happens. However, I've stopped for maintenance things in much worse places than this. I quite like it here. Well, as suspected, you're looking a little bit on the low side there, buddy. It's not so bad. The only reason it came on is because I stopped to take a picture. And I think because it was on the side stand, the oil was tipped over and it made it read on the sensor a little bit low. So I think I'll put a little bit in you and keep you happy, because I'd rather not seize my engine. Thanks for the rag, Hamid's dad. Most useful thing. Look how much sand is just about to fall into my engine. Yeah. Actually, on second thoughts, now it's closer to the 10-minute mark. I don't think that's much to worry about, but, you know, may as well fill it up to the proper level. Job done. And the only annoying thing is that I think what this is going to do is bring the oil level enough up enough for my rear main seal to become a problem again. I don't even know if I mentioned it before, but I think there's a rear main seal leak on this. Found that out, I think it was in Saudi. And I think as the oil level's gone down, it's stopped. But yeah, I think that this is going to cause it again. But so what? Better to top it up than not have any. Anyway, I'm going to be staying about here today because the last hotel was pretty vile. It was actually worse than camping. I would have felt cleaner if I was camping on the floor. So yeah, I'm going to find a semi-decent hotel for tonight, do some washing because I don't have any underwear left. I'm on 3 days on these bad boys. So yes, I'll continue on and then hopefully in the next scene, I will be slightly cleaner.
Narrator here. I was not slightly cleaner. In the hotel's defense, they did let me park inside, but the elevator was a limb destroyer and the rooms were filthy, so I would say, as a result, I was dirtier from this hotel. From here, I continued north a little bit, and it was around this time I figured it would be a good idea to camp in the mountains, even though it was absolutely bloody freezing.
It's so weird to think that, what was it, 2 or 3 days ago? I was in the middle of the desert, and now I'm like, hey, there'll be snow in those mountains. Let's go up there. What's up, B? How have you been? Beep, 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 beep. I'm going to camp somewhere around there. So I found this weird little campsite behind a weird abandoned building in the weird area of nowhere. Well, this is my campsite for the night. Not too bad. I only got this place because I wanted to get a bit protected from the wind, so I've got a abandoned building there and a hill there. The annoying thing is I can't inflate my bed just yet because I forgot to charge my pump. So I'm going to charge it with that, which is obviously the most efficient way of doing it. And then I can start making some food, even though it's just starting to rain. Let's see how this goes one-handed. I'm sure this is as frustrating for you as it is for me. Now here's the bit that's going to make or break my evening. It's pretty hard to find any kind of paraffin here, so I've got some lighter fluid in the hope that it'll work. I'll probably water it down to lessen the amount of smoke, but let's see how that goes. It'd help if that had any kind of fuel in it. One of those jobs that just keeps getting more. Wind. Oh well. Live and learn. On the menu for today, really bad pasta. Now this is going to include delectable delicacies, such as a weird sauce, a weird sausage, and all prepared with an excessively large knife. And I've just realised this isn't even a sausage. What the hell is that? Why is it in a plastic wrapper? Can you be eaten raw? Who knows? That much sausage today. And today's starter, cookies and rain. Just the finishing touches, adding some exotic cheese. And finally, I've remembered once again, I don't have a fork, so I'll be knifing it. I'll try to get some of it in the bowl at least. I'll be honest, I've had better meals. And now the question on all your minds. How do I eat this without a fork? Well, I don't know. It's okay, I figured it out. Do you remember this shot from Africa when I talk about Pringles? Got my Pringles. Well, here's the lid. This is now a spoon. Better than nothing.
Now on a very important side note, I sent this picture to the Ice Cream Bros back in Basra. This was their reaction. Anyway, this was the coldest nights camping on my entire trip so far. I did not enjoy this, and in the morning I made my way in the direction of Istanbul, again. So, seeing as there's been a lack of mini montages, you can have a mini montage to tide you over until I arrive. Finally in Istanbul. Turkey is much larger than you could ever imagine. Anyway, Istanbul is also rather old. Older than vehicles, in fact. And this means that the architecture does not really account for vehicles, and taking any vehicle into the city is an absolute bloody nightmare. So, with a throwback to Africa once again,
A little Chinese traveller buddy.
I'm going to meet up with this wonderful gentleman, and we're going to do some city exploring. I did, however, stumble upon a mammal race. Now I hate cyclists, but luckily there was a helicopter flying overhead, so I'm going to edit this video accordingly to make it much more appropriate.
You guys, it's over here.
I'll say what for all your followers. Thank you.
Eventually, I said my farewells to my Chinese world traveller biker buddy and headed towards Bulgaria
Bye-bye.
for my first taste of European countries in an incredibly long time.
Yeah.
However, for this series of events, you'll have to wait till the next episode.
Get some! Get some! Get some! Get some! Get some!